Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the On the Diamond and Into the Deep podcast. As always, I am your host, Mahal, and today is Tuesday, May 6th, and this is episode 63 of On the Diamond and Into the Deep. Today, we'll be recapping Game 1 against the A's last night. Almost said the Oakland A's. Can't be saying that. Against the A's last night, 11-inning thriller ends up being lost by the Mariners. Some questionable decisions by Dan Wilson. We'll get into it, though, as well as get into a little bit of stuff about Bryce Miller. Not a whole lot today. We talked about it last week. If you haven't gone and you want to know more about Bryce Miller, where he's struggling, stuff like that, I rewatched his entire start last week. So go listen to episode 60 of the podcast. That's a longer form episode. We talked about Bryce Miller, Jorge Polanco, and then Luke Raley being placed on the IL. So if you want to hear more about Bryce Miller or hear about Jorge Polanco, make sure you go listen to that. But today we'll be talking about a quick recap from that game. We'll also be talking about Cal Raleigh, about the season he's had, where he's succeeding, where maybe he could improve a little bit. We'll talk about the Mariners claiming Leody Taveras off of waivers, and we'll also briefly touch on Dylan Moore being activated from the 10-day injured list today. So you had a couple roster moves today. You're going to talk about your captain of your baseball team, and we'll talk about the matchup in game last night. We'll also briefly touch on the Oakland starter tomorrow. We'll go look at what he's done. He's had one start, so not a whole lot to go off of, but we'll go talk about that briefly because we did not get to preview him yesterday in the series preview. But with that, let's get into episode 63. Last night, Mariners and the A's, pretty much the game you're expecting? Question mark? No, not really. Pretty crazy game, actually. Mariners and the A's have really just like a battle. The Mariners quickly go up 4-0 in the fourth, or 4-1 in the fourth inning, or in the third inning, after the A's knock in a run in both the first and the second inning. The A's then knock into the bottom of the fourth. It's now 4-4 at that point. You get to the seventh. Oakland takes the lead at the bottom of the seventh. The Mariners tie the game right back in the top of the eighth. You're then tied heading into extras. They each score a run in the 10th. The Mariners get blanked, a little goose egg at the top of the 11th. And we get to the 11th. And this is where really the chaos begins. I will briefly just touch on some clutch moments from last night. Ben Williamson, couple RBIs, driving in runs, doing his job. J.P. Crawford, 2 for 4 with a couple walks as well. Cal Raleigh with a couple walks last night. Polanco with another hit and an RBI. Tellez with a couple hits and an RBI. Anything else really of importance here? Not really. Rivas with another walk, getting on base. He did have 2 strikeouts last night. Mariners combined for 9 strikeouts last night. They had 6 runs on 8 hits. They only used, or each team used 5 bullpen arms. The Mariners were able to get 2 innings from Carlos Vargas and Trent Thornton each, which is huge. Andres Munoz with just nails. Clutch. I mean, this is one of those performances that is like, yeah, that's why he's that guy. That's why he's a big deal. He puts some runners on, and then you immediately see him go. He gives up the runner from second because it's the extras. He's pitching in the 10th here. They technically give him a blown save there. I guess that's a first run there. He's given up, not an earned run though, so ERA still at a goose. But then he walks a guy. He's got runners on. He's got in a little bit of trouble here, and he goes strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. The definition of clutch is what Andres Munoz was in the 10th inning last night. Absolutely massive from him. One thing I will also touch on before getting into the 11th, Mariners are doing this thing lately where they are making the starting pitcher throw a lot of pitches through 3-4 innings. And then all of a sudden, it feels like that starter should be out after the 5th inning, maybe the 4th inning even. And all of a sudden, it's the 6th inning, and that guy's cruising. He's at 80-something pitches, 90-something pitches. He makes it through 6 innings, and you're like, how did we get here? And that happened again last night. Luis Severino threw 102 pitches. He made it through 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. But the guy was at 70 pitches after 4 innings. I think he was easily at 60 after 4 innings, and he gets a couple quick innings, and all of a sudden, he's through 6 innings. That's not quite a quality start because he gave up 4 runs, but it's the same idea, if you know what I'm saying. And it's happening too much. You're letting them not have to throw too many innings with their bullpens. That's still 3 innings there. And obviously the A's had to use 5 bullpen arms because it went to extras last night. But if you can get into that bullpen earlier in the series, that's going to be advantageous for you in game 2, game 3 of the series. And if it's a 4-game series, in game 4. So that is something that I did just briefly want to touch on. Now, let's get into the 11th. Okay. We're just going to go to the game summary here, and we're just going to walk you through it. If you didn't watch the game is tied here. The game is tied at, I believe, 6s. Yeah, at 6s here. Runner starts on second because it's extra innings. Gio Urshela sacrifice bunt down the first base line. Donovan Solano fields it, toss it to second or to first base. Jorge Polanco's covering the bag there. They get the out. It moves the runner up. That's a sac bunt. And then here's where we get into the manager decisions. Okay. And I don't want to just trash on Dan Wilson here. He's still a learning manager, but questionable decisions, to say the least. So they intentionally walk Shea Langoliers. I understand that because that sets up a double play ball. You already have an out. You then get a double play ball. You're out of the inning. After that, you then have JJ Bleday up. Okay. Now, if you want JJ Bleday's stats this season against righties, let's go get those for you. Because the guy had a couple hits. Did he have any hits? He had a couple hits last night, right? He hasn't been the greatest hitter this season. He's been above average, WRC plus of 107. And when you look at his splits, here's the difference. You have a right-handed pitcher on the mound. Okay, Casey Legumina. Okay, let me make sure that I'm right, that he's a righty. Yes, right-handed reliever Casey Legumina on the mound. Okay, you intentionally walk Shea Langoliers. Runners on the corners now. 1 out. You got JJ Bleday. Let's go look at his splits. Versus left-handed pitchers, he is hitting .455 with a homer. That's in only 17 games, 22 ABs. Versus righties, 102 ABs. He's hitting .176 with 3 home runs. You want WRC plus? Versus righties, his WRC plus is 80. Okay. He's striking out 20% of the time. His on base is below 300. Okay. If you're just looking at this year, his splits, why would you not face him here? And I'm sort of spoiling it there, but the Mariners intentionally walk then JJ Bleday, so you have bases loaded. Runner was already on third, so it doesn't really matter there. But you're also taking away the bat from JJ Bleday, who's probably an easier out than Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson has 2 walk-off hits already this season as a rookie. He's also 2 for 5 on the night with 2 RBIs at this point. And you decide, let's face him infield in. And here's where my biggest problem with it is them putting the infield in. Okay, I understand putting the corners in, but there's 1 out. And yes, Jacob Wilson is a tough guy to double up, but why would you not set up your middle infield to double him up? And part of that is using hindsight, because when I'm watching that play, it's a ground ball that is a routine double play, basically, if the second baseman is where a second baseman would be in double play depth. But they're not there. So it's a combination of multiple different decisions where it's like, yeah, not really sure what you're doing there. And Dan Wilson, he did say that this was his fault. But I don't understand what the game plan was there. What is the decision making? Right? Why? Why is that your decision? Why is that what you're choosing to do? It doesn't really make sense. Okay? and it's just a loss, that's fine. You're going to lose games here and there. It's going to happen. Well, you're going to lose games more than here and there. But you get what I'm saying, and you understand, like, it's not the biggest deal, but you want to win game one of a series, and you've thrown your pen out. You've really given your chance to you're giving your team an opportunity to kind of steal a game. After giving up early runs, Bryce Miller having a tough start, you had an opportunity to go win this one. But you couldn't do it. You made some weird decisions. And it bit you in the butt. And I think he's going to learn from this. And he's obviously a first-year manager, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But it's worth talking about. It's worth mentioning. But again, it's now Tuesday. That was last night. It's the type of thing, let's wipe. Hopefully he learns from it. And let's go on to today. Let's go win the ball game today. Now, on Bryce Miller, I do want to say, it's getting to be a little bit of a concern. I don't know if it's that he necessarily has a quote-unquote injury, but I think it's the type of thing where he's feeling fatigued from the innings he threw last year after not throwing a whole lot of innings the prior years. Feeling some fatigue in his arm, his back, stuff like that, his body just sort of biting him back. And it feels like he just needs a 10-day IL stint just to sort of, like, reset. The guy looks really good in spring training. His velo was up. And last night he's averaging 93 on that fastball for most of the game. I mean, I didn't go look at exactly what it was. If we can take a look really quickly. But to see a guy go from averaging about 96 last year to 93 in a lot of starts this year, that's worrying. To me, at least. And I don't know if that's something where it's like, maybe I shouldn't be worried. But he averaged 94.6 on his fastball last night. He's averaging 94.4 on the season. Last year, he was averaging 95.8-ish, I want to say. I have that in here. So let's go see. Yeah, he averaged 95.2 on his fastball last year, but he was maxing out 98, 99 easily most starts. He averaged 94.6, maxed out at 96.8 last night. This is not the same guy. His spin rates are significantly down. His splitter, obviously, that you kind of want that to be down, but he's having a tough time commanding much of anything. He's walking guys. It's overall just bad. I mean, it's tough to watch. He's not able to locate his pitches. He's hitting batters. It's just tough. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's that he is fatigued and he sort of needs that 10-day IL stint. But at this point, it feels like there is something there, and I wonder if they give it to him when George Kirby, Logan Gilbert are back, especially if Emerson Hancock can continue what he's been doing. And I'm not overly concerned, overly worried, but it is a little bit concerning when we've hit now May and he still can't really find his stuff. He can't really find his velo. And he's a guy that plays with a swagger, and he's fun to watch when he's doing his thing, and he can't do his thing, and it's looking like he's just not having fun out there. He looks like his confidence is shot. It just seems like he needs a week and a half to sort of just reset, clear your head. I don't know if there's something else going on, obviously, but it's interesting. And it's worth talking about. His next start, we'll probably end up digging into it again. We'll rewatch maybe even this Oakland start alongside that start. I believe it'll be Sunday against Toronto, and we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he can have a good start, but overall frustrating season so far for Bryce Miller. Tonight, want to just mention it's going to be a battle to see who can have their starter throw more innings, who can eat some innings, because each team threw 5 relievers last night after not having an off day after the weekend. So both teams in a little bit tough shape. If I'm the Mariners, I'm really hoping I can get 6 innings out of Emerson Hancock. And if I get more than that, then jolly be. And if you're the Mariners, you're going to try and force springs to throw a lot of pitches. Lay off that changeup, lay off that slider. Whatever you got to do, don't expand the zone, don't chase. Get your pitch and hit your pitch. And that should be your approach every game, night in, night out, no matter what. That should be your approach. But even more when their bullpen has been a little bit beat up and it's time for you to sort of just, it's go time. You know, it's a time where you got to go get that starter out, make their bullpen work even harder, set yourself up for, if not a win tonight, but also tomorrow. Set yourself up for tonight and the rest of the series. That's big time. Moving on, let's get into a couple guys. We'll start with Cal Raleigh, who's having a really, really good season. If you want the stats on that, 34 games so far, 240, 359, 574 slash. He's already worth 2 wins above replacement, according to Fangraphs. He has 12 home runs. That is the league lead right now. A 168 WRC plus. That is a stat that is average to 100 for the league. He is 68% above league average as a hitter basically this season. 88th percentile in walk percent, 14.4. 99th percentile in barrel percent, 22.5. His X slug is even better than his normal slug, very slightly. 578, that's the 93rd percentile. He's in the 93rd percentile also in framing. His caught stealings are down a little bit. He only has 6 so far this year, but you're going to expect that to go up. Again, he leads the league in home runs with 12. He has 4 stolen bases. He's rolling. His career average in terms of walk and K is better this year in both. Career average of 10% walk. He is at 14.4 right now. Career average of 28.6 in terms of strikeout percentage. I don't have that number right in front of me of what it is. This year, I believe it's like 22 or 24 about. BABIP, only 247. You can see these numbers go up. His ISO, 333. That's extra base hits, basically. Slugging minus average. So it's measuring your extra base hits and how you're doing there. He has 7 doubles, 12 home runs. He has killed sinkers. Okay. Cal Raleigh has been a dog against sinkers this year. There's no other way to put it. His run value is 6 against sinkers. He's hitting 467, a slug of 1267. WOBA, 708. Expected numbers are just as good. 429 expected batting average. 1067 X slug. What he hasn't done, though, is hit the four-seam fastball. He's hitting 149 against it with a 298 slug, -3 run value against it. So that's an interesting one. I think part of that's due to the torpedo bat. He's getting those sinkers out into the barrel a little bit more. They're in on his hands. They're not jamming him, and he's able to just beat the living you-know-what out of it out to right field, and he's doing it successfully, doing it a lot. I expect him to get at least a homer here while they're down in Sacramento. If it's not tonight, expect it tomorrow. We'll see what we get, but, the guy has been really, really good this year. He is your team captain. He's your leader. He's been one of the better hitters in baseball. He's easily been the best catcher in baseball, in my opinion. He's playing at an MVP level for a catcher right now. He is absolutely out of his mind right now. And it's been mentioned. Obviously, people are seeing it, but the league is starting to take notice as well, and they continue to doubt him. And I don't know how that's even possible because his numbers are unreal, and they speak for themselves before you even know the guy. Not that I know him. Before you even know the guy, before you even see what he does for this pitching staff, the leader he is in the clubhouse, he is an absolute gem, a dog. That extension right now at least looks great. This guy needs to be a Mariner for a very long time, if not his entire career, and maybe even coach after that, because this guy is special. It's amazing to see. The big dumper is really, really amazing. This year, he is also whiffing 49% against sliders. I expect that to sort of balance out. I think he will not hit sinkers quite as well as he is. I also don't think he's going to hit fastballs and sliders as poorly as he is right now. He's going to improve against fastballs. He's going to improve slightly against sliders. When he's at his best, he's not expanding. So when you see Cal working his at-bats, working walks, that's when he's at his best. When he's hitting home runs, that's when he's at his best. His average is up this year. He's doing things that, you don't just expect someone to do. He's getting better year in, year out, and significantly getting better. And it's really, really fun to see the guy grow, see what he's done. It's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. There's not even another word really for it. He's chasing less than he was last year. His barrel percent is up 7.1%. He's 12th in catcher's pop time to second. That was last year. He's about the same this year. Barrels wise, he has 20 already this year. The guy is killing the baseball. He's hitting the ball hard. He's doing well. He's leading the team. He's leading the rotation. And it's pretty freaking awesome to see. In other news, the Mariners have claimed Leody Taveras off of waivers from the Texas Rangers. This is a guy that won the World Series with the 2023 Texas Rangers. He was a decent prospect for them, top 100 back in 2017, 2018, I believe. And then he was their third overall prospect in 2020, fourth in 2021. This has potential to be a really solid acquisition. It's a very Jerry Dipoto coded acquisition. He is former top 100 prospect. Jerry loves it. He has a lot of ability. He also does have kind of a low floor comparatively to some other guys due to his ability to run the bases really well and play in the outfield really well. He was the starting center fielder for that World Series team in 2023 for Texas. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball, and you are going to be moving him to a corner for the most part. Unbelievable. This is great depth. What is he going to do with the bat? That's a little bit iffy, but the guy is going to go run the bases for you really well. He's fast. He's going to steal bases. He's going to play really good corner outfield defense, and it's depth that this team needed bad. They needed it bad, and maybe you can go fix them a little bit. Maybe you can see some of these numbers on at the plate tick up, and all of a sudden that's a really, really sneaky good acquisition that has the potential to bite Texas in the butt, and that only makes it better. That is truly one of the better parts of it. And if you're not excited about the potential to bite the Texas Rangers in the butt, are you really a Mariners fan? Because I think that it might be the best part of the entire thing. In terms of numbers, his best season was 2023. WRC plus of 100 that year. Obviously, he's defense-based running first, but WRC plus of 100, that means he was about league average, or he was league average. 266, 312, 421. He had 14 home runs, 67 RBIs. He walked at a 6% clip, struck out at a 21% clip. He was worth about 2.5 wins that year. Whew. Continuing on, hard hit rate, 2023 was 42.4. It has plummeted since. 34.7 last year, 26.3 so far this year. Barrel percent doing a similar thing, 7.2 in 2023, 5.9 in 2024, 3.5 in 2025. Again, he has the ability to run the bases really well, play really solid defense. That gives him a lower floor, and if you can figure out that bat, if you can unlock something there like you did with Victor Robles last year, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it has the potential to. But if you can unlock something there, this is a potential to be a solid corner outfielder for you, and you need another corner outfielder kind of badly right now. With Robles out, with Raley out for a significant time, both those guys out for significant periods of time, with Arozarena a little bit banged up. You need a guy that can go play in the corner outfield for you, and at the very least run the bases and play really solid defense, and that's what he's going to do. In terms of sprint speed, he's in the 86th percentile, 28.5 feet per second. If you want to compare that to a couple guys on the Mariners, Robles, 27.8 feet per second, 69th percentile. Julio, 97th percentile, 29.4 feet per second. So if you want that in the simplest terms, Taveras is about halfway in between Robles and Julio's sprint speed. So he's fast because both of Robles and Julio are pretty quick. In terms of defensive metrics, he is 85th percentile on outs above average, 84th in arm value, 83rd in arm strength. And it's been about the same thing every year. 2024, he was in the 85th percentile on outs above average, 91st in arm strength. And this year it's about the same. And in 2023, it was about the same. The biggest difference at the plate is I'm clumping the things up into two different categories. One is sort of results-wise, how hard is he hitting the ball? So that's hard hit, squared up rate, exit velocities. The other is whiff, strikeout, the Mariners stats from 2024 where they struggled. So that is whiff, chase, strikeout, walk percentage. I'm going to talk about both of those. We're going to start with sort of how he's hitting the ball and sort of just numbers on that. 2023, 2024, 2025. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through 23, 24, then 25. We're going to talk about it. Okay. 2023, exit velocity, 65th percentile. Hard hit, 63rd percentile. Squared up percentage, 72nd percentile. 2024, this is last year, 49th percentile on exit velo. That's a drop of 16 in percentile rankings, 16% worse, comparing it to the rest of the league. In terms of hard hit, here's a huge difference. 24th percentile in 2024. He was 63rd in 2023. Huge drop off, and that just continues. Squared up percentage, 42nd percentile. He was down 30% compared to the rest of the league in that, just from 2023 to 2024. In 2025, he has plummeted even farther off a cliff in all three of these. Exit velo, 12th percentile in 2025. Hard hit, a 5th percentile in 2025. Squared up rate, 19th percentile in 2025. The guy is not hitting the ball very hard. He's not doing what he did in 2023 to deserve some league average stats. But also, he has shown that he can do that. I think that's a possibility if he does both or does some of these things. They're all going to go hand in hand. So if he starts squaring the ball up a little bit more, hard hit's going to jump up, exit velocity is going to jump up. Same thing with the whiff, strikeout, chase. If you start to whiff less, chase less, you're going to inevitably strike out less. And if he starts to whiff less, he's going to also square the ball up more. So all of these things all go in tandem. And that's why he's struggling, because he's not really doing any of them. And that causes a problem. 2023, let's go into K whiff strikeout, or strikeout whiff chase percentage. We'll start 2023, 56th percentile in strikeout, 56th percentile in whiff, 49th percentile in chase. 2024, 52nd percentile in K, very similar there. 40th percentile in whiff, he's down 16% there. Chase is about the same, 46th percentile versus 49th in 2023. 2025, this is where he again drops off an even farther cliff. This one's like jumping off and out of Mount Rainier, if that makes any sense. 16th percentile in strikeout percent. That is down significantly. 3rd percentile in walk, and I didn't mention that in either of the other two because it was still not great in like the 20s for both, and they were very similar. But 3rd percentile in walk is just not going to cut it. 39th percentile in whiff, that's pretty similar there. Chase is the biggest one. Chase dropped to 7th percentile from 46th percentile. Big time chase problems this year, which is causing him strikeout problems, also causing him walk problems. And he's also whiffing more than he was in 2023, which is also causing him strikeout problems. If he can cut down on the chase, and if he can cut down on the chase first, he's going to strike out less. He's going to walk more. He's going to get on base at a higher clip. He's going to inevitably probably whiff less just due to confidence stuff, which is going to allow him to square the ball up more, hit the ball harder, have higher exit velocities, and his numbers are going to jump up. Again, this has potential to be like a Robles-esque acquisition. This guy has 3 years of club control still left after this year. That means he starts arbitration next year. This guy was Rangers' 3rd overall prospect in 2020, 4th overall in 2021. While he wasn't a super big hyped prospect ever, he was a good prospect with good potential, and he showed that potential in 2023. And whether he's going to do it is still a question. But if he can do it, you're going to get excited. The Mariners are going to be able to have another outfielder to rely on to go play in the field. This guy's switch hitting, which is very valuable for this team. But again, what he's going to bring you is defense and base running first and foremost. And if you get value out of the bat, that is really positive as well. Continuing on to the last couple things, Dylan Moore, just want to briefly touch on it, was activated from the 10-day IL today. Samad Taylor was then sent back down to AAA in the corresponding move. Good to see. Glad to see Demo back. Hopefully, I believe he'll probably be in the starting lineup tonight. I don't think the lineup's out, but assuming he'll be in there, hopefully he can do some damage against the lefty, because that is what he does best. Jeffrey Springs on the mound for the A's tonight. Hopefully the Mariners can do damage there. Tomorrow they'll be facing Gunnar Hoglund. I don't even know if that's how you say it. That's how we're saying it, though. He has had one start this year. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It was a homer, 7 strikeouts. That was against the Miami Marlins on May 2nd. So it'll be 5 days rest exactly. He's 25 years old. He's a right-handed starter. Not sure if there's anything much more of importance here. Just briefly check his Savant page. He's definitely not going to be qualified for anything, but he doesn't throw super hard, about 93 miles an hour average on that. He didn't walk anyone last start, so see if he has that same type of control. It allowed him to get strikeouts, allowed him to get whiff. He wasn't getting crazy chase, though, so maybe the Mariners can hit him around. And also that is the Marlins lineup, which is not a very good lineup. So we'll see what happens. Either way, you're really hoping for another series win here, and that's going to have to start tonight. So if you don't win tonight, you're going to really have to hit around, win tomorrow. But take it one day at a time, one series at a time, as always. Yeah. That's all from me today. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 63 of On the Diamond and Into the Deep. If you don't already, follow me on all the socials. TikTok, we've been posting on there quite a bit. Instagram, we've also been posting on there quite a bit. Twitter, we've been posting on quite a bit. That is all at Diamond and Deep on all of those. If you're listening to this audio platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, go subscribe, watch the video version on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, go follow, leave a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform, whether that is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or another one. But that is all from me today. Hopefully the Mariners can get a series win starting, and they can get a win tonight to kick off that. And hopefully we can get 9 straight. As always, I am Mahal. This has been episode 63 of On the Diamond and Into the Deep. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go Mariners, and peace.